WANO, CP0, Vegapunk. What we're going to be talking about today is all of that. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to be talking about CP0 and their dealings with Shogun Orochi in Wano for control of Vegapunk. So today we'll probably be talking about, why CP0 is in Wano, the reasons why Shogun Orochi wants Vegapunk, and then how Vegapunk ties into the Wano story arc pertaining to the Straw Hats. And if we get all three of these things, we might actually see Vegapunk in Wano, and Vegapunk in Wano could then lead to the explanations of Devil Fruits and their origins in the Wano arc. And I know that sounds really crazy because there's a lot going on between Big Mom showing up and then the world government showing up, and then people think that like Shanks and Blackbeard are going to be showing up, and this is like the big time players club. But if it is the big time players club for Wano and everything that's going to be happening in it, I don't see a reason where you could say that like there's absolutely zero chance that Vegapunk is going to be showing up in Wano, because if you tie all of these things together, there's more than likely a probability of Vegapunk showing up in Wano and somehow like walking into the Straw Hats just randomly on the street. So let's get right to it. Alright, so CP0 is definitely in Wano. We saw that in chapter 929, and there's a couple of speculations about what they're actually doing in Wano, like their true motives or their ulterior motives. And one of the things that I do believe that of why CP0 is in Wano right now to talk to Orochi is for the weapons. And so Kaido's factories, which might also be in tandem with like Orochi's factories, because it makes sense if Orochi had a hand in that, is they need these weapons made out of sea stone, and sea stone is probably the most critical thing for fighting pirates because most of them have devil fruits, and it's also one of the hardest materials on that planet in the One Piece universe. So they're trying to deal with Shogun Orochi and getting all of the sea stone that they can to, one, like line their ships, two, probably make sea stone bullets, three, make sea stone ropes, sea stone handcuffs, just anything that has to do with sea stone. CP0 is there dealing with Orochi because Doflamingo's now out and he was a major arms dealer and the world government was probably getting weapons from him. So now they're trying to go straight to the source and talk to Orochi about it. And then as for ulterior motives for CP0 being there, is they actually might be there for the road poneglyph, because they know that Orochi is dealing with Kaido, and Kaido has Orochi's backs, so they're probably trying to slip in through the weapons factories and get like a layout of Wano, so they can then, sorry, a little tongue twister, so that they can then infiltrate like Kaido's palace on Onigashima, and they can take his road poneglyph, because if the world government is now taking away road poneglyphs from Yonkos, that's another way to stop like the pirate age and like the pirate era. So this might be like a long-term goal for them rather than a short-term goal being like the weapons. So I also think that CP0, the implications of them being there in Wano is not only for the weapons and dealing with like arms and arms with Orochi, but also trying to get the road poneglyph from Kaido at some point so that no one can take it from them, and they're just going to land it up in Mary Jo's pub in that crazy like castle place where we saw the big straw hat. So I think those are the two main reasons why CP0 is in Wano right now dealing with Orochi. And then Orochi pulls up, and this is topic number 2. Orochi pulls up and says, "Give me Vegapunk." And I think one of the things that Orochi is looking for when he's trying to bargain whatever he has for getting Vegapunk is Orochi's mindset. Even knowing about Vegapunk is something like crazy because Wano is a restricted country and the borders are closed, but Shogun Orochi knows about Vegapunk and all of his crazy creations. Is Orochi is probably going to use Vegapunk for a means to an end of enhancing the weapons that they make, so that Orochi can I don't want to necessarily like overthrow like the world government, but Orochi probably has some plan to get Vegapunk to mass produce or produce weaponry from like the sea stone that they have. So I think that with Orochi having Vegapunk and demanding that he's going to trade Vegapunk because last time he got a warship and he's like, yo, warship isn't enough, I want Vegapunk, is that he can now use Vegapunk for a production of weapons that the world has never seen in One Piece. So he'll probably use Vegapunk in a way that he can, but I don't want to say like body armor of sea stone, but like any crazy invention that Vegapunk could do, he can probably work sea stone into it at some point to build up Orochi's own army. And then the secondary thought that I have with that is if Orochi is super nervous about the Kozuki clan coming back with like Momo and Odin and all those like Kozuki clan members, if he's worrying about this massive infiltration of the 9 ghosts or the 9 scabbards, is he'll probably want some form of defense to where if when they do come back, he'll have Vegapunk at his side to push off and kind of like defeat the Kozuki clan again. But I don't see a timeline where Vegapunk shows up, makes all these inventions, and then like those inventions and like weaponry stop the Kozuki clan from coming back. But I definitely see Orochi using Vegapunk for some means to an end with that like subplot line. So on the predications that Orochi does get Vegapunk into Wano, this brings a like direct path almost for meeting Vegapunk, explaining Vegapunk's backstory goes into this one, and then like how Vegapunk interacts with the Straw Hats and other people in the story. So let's say CP0 is like, all right, we'll give you Vegapunk, and Vegapunk is like, all right, I guess I'm just a bargaining tool. Like, that's cool. Just send me off to Wano. And then Vegapunk arrives to Wano. There's a weird kind of like gap. Not gap, but like a slot for him in Wano. And it like makes sense because even though the editors and Oda are wild, and when they say they're like 85% done with the story, and that there's only going to be over like a couple hundred or like over 100 volumes, like give probably like 10 to 15, it would make sense more now to implement Vegapunk into the story while we're this close to the end. And then following that, we get the backstory for Vegapunk and how he became like the world's smartest man and like what he grew up with. But then we also get the backstory and the origins of Devil Fruits because Vegapunk is the #1 knowledge dude for Devil Fruits. And so this gives us a chance for Vegapunk to walk into the Straw Hats at some point during Wano and then explain to them, because Frankie would know. Frankie would be like, "Nani? Vegapunk?" And then Vegapunk would be like, "Yeah, what's up? Like, what do you guys want to know?" And then this leads nicely into a subplot point where we learn, like I said, about like the Devil Fruits and everything. And then this could be a better explanation for Luffy awakening his Devil Fruit instead of having somebody else, because Vegapunk could like give Luffy like the direct like, here's this, here's this, here's this, and here's this, and then voila, you got an awakened Devil Fruit, rather than somebody like, let's say, Katakuri or the prisoner that we see in the like jail section. This would lead nicely into a subplot point of that, of Luffy getting a power up, and it makes sense. And then additionally, I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Wrestling, what the fuck? Like, Vegapunk can't show up in Wano," but like it makes sense because you have Kaido there because it's his land, his territory. You have Big Mom there who just showed up. You have CP0 who's in there in the shadows, and then you have like foreshadowed the world government coming in, Shanks coming in, Blackbeard coming in, Edward Weevil coming in, Marco coming in, like the rest of the Whitebeard pirates coming in, whoever else is in the alliance, so like the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. You have like the rest of the minks are coming in. You still have a bunch of samurai. Like, this is a heavy hitter arc where there's going to be a lot compacted into a, I don't want to say like small time frame, because if Wano ends up being 100 plus chapters, that's not a small time frame, but it is relatively a small time frame to get an info dump. And it makes sense to where Vegapunk would show up in an arc like this, because if you really think about it, like Wano's done, right, in like, let's say 2 years, and then post Wano we have Elbaf, we have like Raftel, and then we have maybe like an intermediary like island or two that's like maybe 10 chapters or so, like maybe like Zoe level arcs, and then you have like the final war. So if you were going to compile something as important as Vegapunk and the Devil Fruits and their origins, you could put it into Wano. Like, Oda could put this into Wano, because you have the pathway from I keep putting my mitts outside of the screen, not realizing I don't have a fisheye. But you have like the path of CP0 being there, and then Orochi trying to like tell them that you have CP0, and then you have Vegapunk, and Vegapunk's like, or not Vegapunk, Orochi. You have Orochi, and he's like, CP0, I want Vegapunk. So this like would lead into a portion where you could get a massive info dump from Vegapunk during this arc. And honestly, like, I would much rather have it to where there's a lot going on, and I don't want Oda to rush it at all. Like, I do not want that. Like, I want to learn about Devil Fruits, their origins, how they work, like what's actually going on, like the explanation of them. Like, I think everyone wants that. But you could fit it nicely into like 2 chapters, maybe 3 tops, right, in the Wano arc, because there's so many pathways leading to it. And like I said earlier, it makes sense for Vegapunk to explain Awakening to Luffy, because he would know the most about it. All right. Let's recap it. CP0 in Wano. Probably for weapons, Road Poneglyph. Orochi wants Vegapunk to amass an army and strengthen them and make sure that he can be the Shogun for forever, whether that be anyone else invading inside out or outside in. So examples would be other countries, world government, or like the return of the Kazuki clan. And finally, Vegapunk, if he does show up, could lead Luffy to Awakening. Also the origin and explanation of Devil Fruits, how they work, and a lot more. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or theories about the timeline of Vegapunk showing up in Wano with every other heavy hitter and having some crazy arc, let me know down below. Like the video if you like the video. And thank you all for coming to my TED Talk about CP0 and Vegapunk in Wano.